Hello, this is Professor Sampson, and in this video you're going to be learning how to factor a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c when a is greater than 1. Recall that you just watched a video where you were factoring trinomials in this form, but a was equal to 1. So for example, you had x squared minus 10x plus 24, right? And you were told to factor that. Well, you factor that by guess and check. You just put the two parentheses, x and x times x gave you x squared, and then you found all the factors of 24. Right? So 24 is 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. Those are all the factors of 24. And what you had to do was find a 2 that would give you 10. Now, if you looked at it, both of these have the capability of giving you 10, but only one of them can be the appropriate answer. Well, because we are multiplying out to get this one, we should know that if this is positive, that means that the two numbers you multiplied were either two positives or two negatives, because a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a positive is a positive. So they had to be, these numbers have to be either two negatives or two positives. Well, we know they can't be two positives because we need to get a negative. So they're going to be two negatives. That eliminates this because a negative 12 and a negative 2 is a negative 14, not a negative 10. So we would use these two. So we would have a negative 4 and a negative 6. That's what you just finished working on. But we're going to work on how to factor when your a is not equal to 1. When your a is not equal to 1. So you have your ax squared plus bx plus c, but your a is not equal to 1. So let's look at an example. Let's say, for example, we have 7x squared minus 20x minus 3. And we're going to factor this using a method called bottoms up. Alright, a method called bottoms up. In this method, your first step is going to be to multiply a times c. Right? And a times c is negative 21. So you're going to rewrite this without the a, x squared minus 20x, and then minus that 21 that you got from multiplying a times c. That's going to go here. Then, since this is now something where a is equal to 1, right, we can factor using our old guess and check method that I just went over. We're going to find the factors of 21. All right, 1 times 21. Well, we see that already 1 times 21, because it's 3 times 7 also, but 1 times 21 is going to give us 20. This sign right here tells us that they're going to be opposite signs. Remember, a positive tells us that they're both positive or both negative, but a negative, a minus, tells us that they're going to be opposite signs. And what sign is going to get the highest number? What sign is going to go with which number? Well, this sign goes with the largest number. So since we're using 1 and 21, 21 is the largest, so it's going to get this sign. And then the other number is going to get this sign, which gives us a negative times a positive is a negative, and a negative 21 and a positive 1 is a negative 20. After we do that, of course, we just found this answer. We didn't find this answer. We're going to divide by a. And after we divide by a, we're going to reduce. Reduce and leave them as fractions. So this is x minus 21 over 7 is 3. And this still remains x plus 1 over 7 for now, because that is in its reduced form. So our answer is x minus 3, but we can't leave that as a fraction, and that's when the bottoms up method comes in. We're going to bring this bottom up to the front. So that's going to give us 7x plus 1. And that's your answer. That is the bottoms up method. 4 steps, approximately 4 steps, and you're done. All right. Let's try another example of the bottoms up method. Let's try, for example, (4b squared minus 15b plus 9. All right. Our first step is always to take out a GCF, but we don't have one. So we go right in, b squared minus 15b, and then we're going to take a times c, which is plus 36. We're going to factor this as normal, b and b. We can use our calculator, right, to find all the factors of 36. If you recall, you go into your calculator, right, you hit y equals, put 36 divided by x, you go to the table, and it'll list all your factors. Right? 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. So list all your factors. You need to find the factors that are going to add up to 15. Well, it's not going to be this one. Not going to be 6 and 6, or 9 and 4. That gives us 13, and if we subtract, it gives us less. Right. 18 and 2 can give us, if you subtract 16, if you add 20, that doesn't help us. 3 and 12 actually can give us 15. Right. But we have to see if we're okay and we can do the signs. Well, this positive tells us that they're either going to be both positive or both negative. And this tells us that they're both going to be negative. So this is a negative 3 and a negative 12. Right, multiply out to give you a positive, add up to give you more negative. Last step is, don't forget our 4. I'm going to divide by 4 and reduce. Well, b minus, put 3 over 4 in your calculator, you'll find that it's reduced. And then b minus 12 over 4, which is 3. Since this had a fraction and we don't have fraction, we're going to bring that bottom up. So we're going to be left with 4b minus 3 times b minus 3. And if you FOIL that out, you will get the correct answer. So the bottoms up method is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. All right, let's do one more. 56r squared plus 17r minus 3. Same old thing, we're going to have our r squared plus 17r. We're going to multiply 56 times 3. 56 times 3 gives us 168. We have r and r. Now we need to find, in our calculator, again, all the factors of 68 by going to y equals 168 and put in 168 divided by x. And then we list all the factors. I'm going to write them down. I have 1 and 68, right? 2 and 84, 3 and 56, 4 and 42, 6 and 28, 7 and 24, 8 and 21, and 12 and 14. All right. We're looking for the 2 that will give us 17. This one will give us 17. If we subtract them, we'll get 2. If we add them, we'll get more than 17. Of course, 1 and 68 will never give us 17. 2 and 64 won't give us any. 84 won't give us anything. 3 and 36 won't give us anything. 4 and 42 definitely won't give us anything. But we're getting close to 6 and 28 won't give us anything. And what do I mean by won't give us anything? I mean that if we add these two or subtract these two, we're not going to get 17. All right. So 7 and 24 is actually going to give us 17. Now again, this sign tells us, since it's minus, tells us that they have to be opposite signs. They can't be the same signs. And then this sign, in that case, tells us which one the highest number is going to get. So if we got 7 and 24, our highest number is going to get a plus. So that's going to be plus 24. And then the other number is going to be minus because they have to be opposites. After that, we're going to divide by a. Divide both of them by 56. We're going to reduce. So if you put 24 over 56 into your calculator, it reduces to 3 over 7. And then if you put 7 over 56 in your calculator, it reduces to 1 over 8. Since they both have a fraction, you're going to have to bring your bottoms up. So you get 7r plus 3 times 8r minus 1. And that is factoring a x squared plus bx plus c. That is factoring it using the bottoms up method. That is factoring by the bottoms up method.